At some point, he'll forget he has Alzheimer's, and that's the problem.
I had difficulty saying certain words, but I never thought I had this disease.
Now we're rediscovering the person she was before, with whom we can share things.
Hello and welcome to France in Focus. I'm Delano D'Souza. On the show this week, we're going to talk about Alzheimer's. The brain disease affects one's memory and can grow severe enough to impact daily tasks. In 2015, 900,000 people were living with Alzheimer's in France, and those numbers have grown by 225,000 every single year. The majority of Alzheimer's patients are women, and those numbers are expected to double by 2050. Now, some 60% of Alzheimer's patients are expected to wander off at least once during the course of their disease. Many will wander off multiple times. Some are never found, which means finding lost loved ones remains a goal for many.
Hicham has been looking for his father for the past 5 years. El Mekki Tarak has Alzheimer's disease and would be 84 years old today.
My father disappeared during the summer of 2015. It was the month of July. He was at a friend's house and he wanted to go home. After that, we didn't hear from him again.
Wandering is common among Alzheimer's patients, a little-known consequence of the disease. Disorientated, they can lose the ability to find their way home. For families and carers, it's a race against the clock to find them.
We made these little missing person flyers with recent photos of my dad, his description, and the phone number to call if you've seen him.
Hicham reported his father's disappearance to the police and combed the streets to no avail. He turned to social media and created a Facebook page now followed by 35,000 people.
Thanks to this page, I've received a huge number of messages and alerts. It really brings me hope.
64-year-old Françoise has had to deal with her husband's loss of bearings on several occasions.
Tu te rappelles que tu t'es perdu? Non. Non, voilà. Donc tu t'es perdu 2 ou 3 fois et depuis tu sors plus.
Françoise has since set her husband up with a GPS tracking telephone, which allows her to follow his movements.
It's linked back to my phone, and I send a text with a code, and the GPS sends me back a text with the geolocation. But at some point, he'll forget he has Alzheimer's, and that's the problem. He won't remember to take the phone.
It's a daily struggle for carers who are often isolated and unsupported.
I couldn't go out anymore, so I was cut off from my friends and relatives and from any social life. It was hard.
It's often thanks to tip-offs that patients are found. In the northern port city of Le Havre, a volunteer from the France Alzheimer Association is out raising awareness among shopkeepers to better detect wandering patients.
It's so important that sales staff know how to react if someone comes into the shop and asks questions. Tells them, "I'm lost, help me."
A situation this sales assistant has already experienced.
Someone who was lost came in and was wandering around purposely. We asked her what her name was, if she had a piece of paper on her. She said no. I called the local police.
According to police, Alzheimer's patients make up some 15% of worrying disappearances in France. No specific official search network exists for these cases, leaving families with no answers and a long wait.
To find out more about living with Alzheimer's, we've come to meet Jacques Marchand. The 77-year-old lives on the outskirts of Paris, and he's trying to retain a sense of normalcy by living alone. So you know you're living with Alzheimer's. What was your reaction when the doctors diagnosed you with the disease?
J'avais envie de pleurer quand j'ai appris ça.
I wanted to cry when I heard that, but you know, it's pointless crying. There's no point, so I stopped. When you're told that sort of thing, you don't want to laugh about it, do you?
What are the symptoms you have for now?
Mon problème, c'est que
My problem is that I find it increasingly difficult to talk. So I can speak using words that I use on a regular basis.
que je connais souvent, mais aussitôt que je veux dire un mot.
But as soon as I want to use words that I don't use frequently, I just can't remember them. I have to think for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes 2 hours to find the right word. It's really frustrating.
Donc c'est très ennuyeux.
You're living with Alzheimer's. What do you do every day to help you keep this disease, to slow it down, essentially?
Je fais tout
I
ce
do
que
as
je
much
peux
as I
pour,
can
que
to slow it down.
ça aille moins vite. C'est-à-dire que tous les
Every
jours,
day I go on a
je suis
website
allé
called
sur,
Happy Neurons.
Internet sur un truc qui s'appelle Happy Neuron. Et donc tous les jours,
And they send me
ils
things
m'envoient
like
des
games
jeux à faire.
to do every
Je
day,
les fais tous les jours.
and I do them every day.
J'ai
And I also go to a speech therapist twice a week.
When you think of the future, what do you see in the months and the years to come?
J'ai un peu peur.
Well, I'm a
parce
little bit
qu'effectivement,
scared.
enfin, je fais tout mon possible pour que ça
I do
aille
everything in my power to slow it
de
down,
moins en moins vite. Voilà. Mais je me dis
but
quand
at the
même
same
que
time I know that
malheureusement,
unfortunately it will get progressively worse.
ça sera de pire en pire. Mais j'espère que ça,
But I hope it will progress as slowly as possible.
Voilà.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Bah écoutez, merci. J'ai
Thank
été
you. I was
heureux
happy
de
to
vous
meet you
voir
and to
et de
speak to you.
parler avec vous.
One Alzheimer's centre in France is trying to strike the right balance between caring for their patients and offering them a normal quality of life. As you will see in this next report, they get to live in shared accommodations and do mundane tasks like going to the supermarket.
Valérie Valadier visits her mother in this new village, built especially for Alzheimer patients. The community is the first of its kind in France.
Here she's able to enjoy doing everyday things again. It brings us huge relief and joy.
Her 80-year-old mother, Francine, started suffering from dementia after a road accident. Compared to a hospital or an ordinary retirement home, this new environment offers her a real sense of living in her own home, with a large garden. The Village Landais Alzheimer, a new generation care home set up with public funding, can accommodate up to 120 patients. 16 individual houses are scattered around the 12-acre estate. The fee, €65 per day.
It's a much nicer environment to live in.
Do you smell that? It smells like a bakery.
You're right. Let's go and get some bread.
Depending on their income, families can receive subsidies from the regional government. Residents have access to free medical care. They can also shop at a grocery store or go to hairdressers as an exercise.
De quoi avez-vous besoin?
Du pain,
Du pain. Très bien.
plus de la mie,
Oui.
de la salade de fruits.
Oui.
It's a way to encourage them to run their daily chores in a secure environment.
She'd become someone else because of her illness. Now we're rediscovering the person she was before, with whom we can share things.
Sharing is an important part of the philosophy here. Patients are offered the time and company to read a book together or dance after having a haircut.
It's like going back in time, when I used to come out of a ball carrying my shoes in my hands with 2 or 3 friends.
They also have meals together like a family.
We are here not just to help out, but also to listen and try and understand them. So when they have problems or worries, they can talk about it with nurses and doctors.
The goal is to reduce their dependence on medicines by increasing social interactions.
The idea is that by improving their social life and by recovering their daily actions and being useful to the others, they may be able to maintain their remaining capabilities.
There are as many staff members as patients, plus volunteers. That's more than in an average care home. The residents can freely move around the premises, but in security.
Est-ce que vous voulez que je vous accompagne un petit peu?
Si vous voulez,
Oui.
Là, comme
C'est par ici. Venez. Ils viennent. Nous, en tant que
While they are free to walk about, we staff members know who's out there taking a stroll. We remain on watch so that we can come and help whenever someone is lost or in need of assistance.
On sent qu'elle a besoin d'aide.
Studies are being carried out to see if this new approach could be the answer to those suffering from Alzheimer's disease.
That's it for this edition of France in Focus. From all of us on the team, thank you very much for watching.